Hello, my name is ANANYA. I am a student of FITGEE's Supreme program at Chennai ADITYA. I came to know about FITGEE through advertisements in the paper about Big Bang Edge and FTRE. I decided to take the exam in Hyderabad, which was really a convenience because I study at Chennai, and being able to take the exam at Hyderabad and being able to enroll here was a good opportunity. I obtained a scholarship of about 90% and decided that I would enroll in the 4-year program.
Hello, my name is ADITYA and I'm a student of FITGEE's 4-year integrated program Supreme. I came to know about FITGEE through advertisements in the papers, magazines, etc. and also through my dad's friend whose son was already enrolled in FITGEE, so we had a good idea about the institute. I wrote the exam FTRE and I had secured a scholarship of about 50%. After hearing about the institute, I decided to join the course. And for the first 2 years, due to the COVID pandemic, it was online. We couldn't do anything about it. And so my father thought it would be a good idea to attend the class together with my sister because she was also enrolled in the same course. So it was more like a classroom experience in the home itself. So it was pretty nice to have a companion along with me for the entire duration of the course, and it was like I was never left out of anything. Like if I had to talk about anything regarding the studies or whatever of any sorts, I always had a companion along, and it was really nice.
Despite the classes being online, the teachers always sought to help us through any means possible, through communication through messages on WhatsApp, asking us to send messages through the Zoom meetings themselves if we had any doubts. So overall, it was a nice experience. The teachers were very helpful throughout the entirety of the 2 years that we had to study online.
Despite the online conditions, the teachers actually did a very good job to ensure that we had a strong foundation for our 11th and 12th. Every week or so, we used to have chapter tests pertaining to a single chapter, like about 50 to 60 questions. So it would really help us to understand the concepts more. And after the test, if we had any doubts regarding the particular test, or if we could understand where we went wrong, etc., like that, the teachers always held like Zoom meetings or so to discuss it out with us. And also, along with the test, there was also an assignment kind of thing called Glorifier. There we can take like tests on our own, like 20 minutes or so, and the questions on those apps are really like innovative also. And even the app also had a feature like to show the solutions just after the test, and like to ask questions through the app which can be answered by other students and etc. And the app was like really helpful throughout the whole preparation.
I'd also like to add that following the tests, test analysis were conducted by teachers online, mostly through Zoom classes. We were asked to send doubts through groups on WhatsApp. The questions that most students mostly went wrong at were discussed thoroughly by the teachers. In addition to being discussed by the teachers, I also ensured to go through all the questions that I went wrong at after the test.
Adding to that point, I would like to share a personal experience of my own. During most tests, I used to read the question a bit too fast, so I could just go through all the questions because there are a lot of questions in most of the tests, and that panicked me a lot, and I used to go wrong at most of them. So in the test analysis sessions, I used to understand that I should just be a bit patient and not panic, because if I panic, I know I'll go wrong. So I learned to be a bit more patient and read the question thoroughly. So it helped me increase my accuracy a lot. And along with the test analysis sessions, during phase tests, we used to have something called rank potential index sessions also. So where the teachers tell how we would stand in the real exam. Like after each phase, they used to just write a few marks on the boards and say in which range we used to fall. And so during the 7 phases, like we could just use it as a self-improvement kind of thing. Like we can set a target to ourselves, like the next phase I should be here, the next phase I should be here. Like that's like kind of helpful for self-improvement and sorts, and yeah, that helped a lot. Coming back to Glorifier, Glorifier also provided us with the option to see each question thoroughly and understand like how many students have gone wrong in a particular concept and like how many students got it right. and like we could understand how well the other students know the other concepts also. So we can try to improve a certain type of concept where most of them are lacking, and so we can get an edge above the competition and sorts of like that. Glorifier as a platform itself is a great way for self-improvement. Like as you give so many tests day after day, you come to know across the different concepts which are weak at, and there's also an option to rate each question, so you can always go back to a particular question if you feel that it was a really good question to understand all the concepts at once. Like there is an option to do that, and even after many tests, if you feel that a concept is not right or something, the teachers are always there to help you tackle those problems. And Glorifier as a platform itself is a wonderful opportunity for each student to understand each concept by their own, by their own.
Coming to self-study, I was not very good at physics to begin with during my preparation. My brother helped me out with certain concepts I had difficulty understanding, which he happened to grasp better. It eventually helped me build a good understanding that I would have to look at some questions from a different point of view than I was doing before. It really helped me solve a lot more problems, and I used to generally score around 50% in chapters that were conducted on physics. Him helping me out eventually helped me get my score up to 60-70%. This, by the way, also helped me get 100 percentile in physics during mains. So I also happened to help him out with certain concepts in math, so us helping each other out went hand in hand.
The curriculum at JEE was designed in such a way that it was not as stressful for a student, and he or she can handle it like in a very stress-free environment, like at his own pace. He or she had any doubts or anything, they can always approach the teacher at any point of time. Like it's a stress-free. There is no stress on the student. And I would also like to add that the peer groups the classrooms also helped a lot to understand certain concepts which were lacking behind. Like someone would have understood it in a better way, so they can help you out. So that was also very good.
Discipline was an important part in all the process. Every day after school, I allotted about 3 to 4 hours to understand a particular concept and to solve questions regarding the same, which helped me cement my understanding of the concept. This I followed for topics that we had tests in the following day or the following week. And on weekends, I had to devote about 8 hours. The subjects generally weren't planned, as in I wouldn't decide on what subjects to study in advance. If we had a test coming up on a topic, I would choose to study about the same. Otherwise, I tried to devote equal time to all 3 subjects.
There were constant messages on WhatsApp group where parents were also involved, so that we know whether our children are there in the list of the students who have not yet taken the test. So we made sure that they have completed the test that was to be done by that particular session. So that actually helped them to be on time, because they know that parents are going to get a mail. And it also mentioned the rank that they are scoring. So it was good for us to keep a track on what our children are doing, not directly asking them or questioning them. So these messages actually helped us to keep a track on where our children are heading.
The concepts at JEE were taught in such a manner that they used to teach a particular concept, like explain what was going to happen and give a formula or something to the topic, and they used to give 1 or 2 questions so that we will be able to solve whatever they taught, like with the limited knowledge they had just given us. So we can try whether we will be able to answer it or not. And in the case we're not able to do that, they'll continue with the same topic further on, and till we understand the topic perfectly, they'll be giving so many questions.
The questions in archives, review booklets and packages were in such a manner that they were organized from level beginner to difficult, and there weren't too many questions per chapter. That is, the number of questions provided per package was sufficient for us to build a basic and thorough understanding of what was entailed in the chapter. it proved more than sufficient to build my knowledge. My advice to my juniors is don't be hesitant to ask doubts, no matter how trivial you feel them to be. As you ask doubts, you know that you can improve your understanding of a particular concept. You can also understand how much better you can make yourself be at the same.
I would like to thank all my faculties from FITG, my parents, my friends, in helping me throughout this journey and in making myself a better person and bringing myself up to this level where I am right now.